Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to The Loud House Season 2, Episodes 10 and 11. So, yeah, we are now 10 episodes into Season 2, and as I said last time, I really want them to start moving ahead with things. They've started definitely making some necessary changes, bringing the parents more into it, having episodes that focus more on other characters rather than Lincoln. And it's just like, they've only just started with it, though. And we're 10 episodes into the second season. It really should have been more of a bigger deal at this point. Again, I don't want Lincoln to just, like, stop being the main character. I don't want him to stop having episodes focused on him at all. I just want there to be plenty of episodes that focus on the other sisters as well. Maybe not even necessarily just alone, but maybe have an episode with Lenny and Lucy. Maybe you have an episode with the twins and Luann as the focus. Just stop having to make every episode, or even most episodes, focused on Lincoln. And it just feels like a big waste of time to do it that way, in my personal opinion. But I am still enjoying the show. There is still a lot of good episodes, a lot of good ideas. And like I said, they are definitely improving with this second season. But they do have to continue to improve. They can't just say, oh, we've done a lot more to make it better. We've improved so much. We don't have to do anything more. It's like, no, yes, you do. Every show needs to keep improving in order to, well, keep existing, really. You can't just have it, like, stop there. You can't just have it, like, you can't just say, like, oh, we did what we needed to do, now we're done. No, it doesn't work like that. Now, apparently, this season, Season 2, also has 26 episodes. Apparently, each season is 26 episodes long. That's just kind of how it seems to be going. We're going to take this as we go, but we're probably going to take a break partway through the season. We might not, but we might. We did before. Because we did with Season 1 and all. We took a break for a little bit to to watch something else as well. And the reason for this would be because at a certain point the series kind of gets a little overbearing to watch all of this at once. So it's like, take a break partway through the season and then get back to it after you watch something else. But we'll see. We might not even do that. Either way, we're doing 2 episodes today. I don't know what they're called. I don't know anything about them. But I'm really hoping they continue to move things along with this. I really hope that at least one of the episodes focuses on someone other than Lincoln. And I mean as the main focus, by the way. And I'm hoping that the parents continue to be a bigger force in, honestly, both of the episodes, but at least one of them. That's my wish for these 2 episodes. That's all I can hope for. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, we're just going to get this started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I'm conflicted. Because okay, we're just going to talk about these episodes out of order. I'm going to talk about the second episode, episode 11 here first, because I need to get this kind of off my chest first. The episode was good. I like that it focused very heavily on the father, Lynn Sr. And I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny as hell. I thought that the subplot that started with Lori and Lenny going out on the test drive so they could go out and do stuff with the one dude, I thought that was hilarious. And I love how in the end he was just all for it. And I liked the entire plot with Lynn Sr. getting obsessed with the new car and becoming overbearing on keeping it clean and everything. And there's a hint of reality to that, because whenever someone gets a new car or something, my family, I can vouch for this, whenever my dad or mom have gotten new vehicles, it's like, yeah, they want to keep it clean and all for as long as they can. They want to keep the mud out of it. They want to keep food and drink out of it. That's pretty normal, actually. But the reason why I think this was as good as it was, because they took it to an extreme, but not necessarily an unrealistic extreme. Like, everything he was still talking about, while really silly, was, I mean, obviously realistic. It was like, it wasn't going to a level where it was just stupid, is what I'm saying. Honestly, my only problem with the episode came at the end. Why did they have to get rid of the new van? That makes literally no sense. Because at the end, they convinced him. They convinced him what he was doing was wrong. And he realized this. He came to see the error of his ways. He was no longer obsessed. Why did they have to get Vanzilla back? Vanzilla was a hunk of junk that wouldn't even run. They literally had to push it. He was at a point where he was fine. They could have kept the new van and everything would have been good. It just makes no sense at all that they chose to return that one and get the old one back. Everything else about the episode, I was completely on board with. I really, actually loved it. I'd even say it's one of my favorite episodes. But that part brought it down just a little bit for me. Just a little, admittedly. It's not that big of a deal, but it just made no sense at all. I mean, I get the entire thing, like, okay, he had a very special connection to Vanzilla and everything, because it was his father's and his grandfather's before him. And I get that once he was snapped out of this obsession with the new van, I understand how he might want to get the old van back because of that dedication to it. But it didn't even go that route. It's just like, okay, we're getting the old van back because, you know, we just are. If it would have at least inserted a single line to explain that he missed Vanzilla, that because of that connection it had with his father and grandfather, that it was important and special to him and he just forgot about that, I would have been completely fine. I would have been completely okay with it. But it didn't even say that in the end. We can maybe assume that's what was going through his head, but honestly, we can't assume. Because everything just kind of leads you to believe instead that the only reason they were getting it back is because he came to his senses, and that's it. It was actually completely wrong in just logical sense to return that. It was a good van. It ran. It fit everyone. The only issue was his obsession, and that was gone. So, again, if they had a single line of him realizing that he did have that connection to the old van, and that's why he wanted to get it back in the end, and it was because of that important connection that made him feel like that's what truly mattered, maybe that would have made it better. But as it was done, even though we did have that information, it needed to be said again at the end for it to work. Because it had to have shown him realizing that. But as the episode was, it was a mistake. It did not work. Just in the end there. Again, the rest of the episode was fantastic. And I still say it's probably one of my favorites. but that part does take it down just a little bit. But let's go back to the episode before that. So the episode 10 has Lisa transferring up to Lincoln's class. She transfers from kindergarten to 5th grade because she's feeling unfulfilled in kindergarten. And she realizes soon that she's obviously the smartest kid in class and no one can rival her. Lincoln realizes this too as his friends start to shun him. They're feeling that he's just kind of brought this monster into the class, and it's hurting their overall enjoyment. And I don't know I mean, they're kids, so I can kind of let it go, but it's not Lincoln's fault. She was the one who requested to be bumped up. I mean, heck, she wanted to go to university, but this is as far as she was allowed. And she was the one who specifically chose Lincoln's class. It's not Lincoln's fault at all. But again, they're kids, so I can kind of wave it off a little bit. Either way, so Lincoln starts to basically be ostracized by his friends. So in order to keep his spot with his friends, he decides to convince Lisa to be normal. And she does actually go for it, for the sole purpose of helping him, basically. Plus, she does feel it'd be an interesting social experiment. But, like, the purpose of helping him is actually one of the main reasons, and really the first reason she mentions. And that's actually really nice. I like that. I like that she's willing to do this for her brother. And so she goes along and starts to be normal. She even has this collar that will squirt her whenever she tries to act smart. And it actually works. Lincoln gets back in with his friend group, and everything is going really well. But then, basically, otherwise, things start going wrong. Everywhere else, his family and whatnot starts disliking him because she's not helping around anymore. Her old teacher, everyone gets sick, and Lisa's not able to help out with making a remedy anymore, so everyone's mad with him there. And it's like he just realizes that the only reason he really did this was for his own selfish needs. And so he decides to put other people, especially those sick kids, before himself. And he asks her to return to normal, and she at first is kind of against it, but eventually accepts. And she even mentions he's a good guy because of his main reason for choosing to have her change back is because of the sick kids. And that's true. That was very cool of him. And so she changes back, and eventually we find out that his friends are okay with it because due to her helping those sick kids, one of them had a sibling in that class. The other thought was saying like, oh, it could spread and it didn't affect us and stuff. And it's like, so they're cool with it. I thought the episode was really cute and fun and funny. It had a couple references in it, like when Lisa made a Fonzie reference of all things. It's like, I mean, I said don't do that, but that was hilarious, let's be honest. I thought it was just a really cute, fun episode. And this is where it gets to the point where my one negative about this episode, just like with episode 11, and it's kind of the same thing. Lisa, when she went back to normal, it's like they're not going to even address the fact that she doesn't need glasses anymore. Did she switch out her lenses with non-prescription lenses, just like these fake lenses that don't actually do anything? Because she gave herself legitimate eye surgery. She does not need glasses to see anymore. Yet, when we see her go back to her old self, she's wearing glasses. Are they new glasses? Did she change out the lenses? Because if they're the same glasses, she won't be able to see out of them anymore. If they're the same, if we're supposed to assume they're the same glasses that she had worn before, she's going to be bumping into shit left and right. I've worn glasses that are either too powerful or too weak for my eyes specifically, because I don't wear glasses anymore, but I used to, and I technically kind of need them. My eyes aren't that great, but I can see well enough to not need to wear them. Let's put it that way. But I do have glasses still. I just mostly use them for my Kobayashi cosplay. But I have worn glasses in the past that were either too strong or too weak for me. I can't see out of them. And a lot of the times they make me feel really dizzy and nauseous. They even straight up make my head hurt just wearing them. And the same thing would happen to Lisa if she's wearing glasses after giving herself that eye surgery. And again, if they're fake glasses or if the lenses were switched out with fake ones that don't actually do anything, then fine, but I think it should have mentioned that. Because otherwise it just kind of seems like she went back to wearing her old glasses again, and it's just like, I don't know, maybe that's just me nitpicking, and it probably is, but it just kind of threw me off a little bit, to be honest. It's like, wait, those aren't the same glasses, are they? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but the episode, like, in total, it was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. And I think the reason I enjoyed both of these episodes was kind of for the same reason. These episodes, they did what I wanted them to. These two episodes did exactly what I wanted this series to do and continued the progression I wanted to see. They focused on other characters. Yes, Lincoln was a focus for the first one here. But these episodes weren't as heavily Lincoln-focused as they could have been. The first episode was a split focus. And I mentioned in my pre-thoughts, I want to see split focuses. Having multiple characters be the main focus. Lisa was just as much of the focus in this episode as Lincoln. I truly believe that. And I think that's why it worked out so well. Now, admittedly, I wish it ended up being Lisa and maybe a different sister, but still. And the second episode, it was almost entirely focused on the dad. Yes, Lincoln, the sisters, and even Rita got some notable screen time and notable lines and everything, but the dad, Lynn, was the focus. It was his episode, which is the second time he's had a focused episode. So I'm glad that they're going along with this. I'm glad that they're doing more of this. That's great. It's showing that this is changing. This is growing. It is progressing, and that's what I want to see. There is one other thing. One other thing with the first episode that I had an issue with. I'm trying to think of exactly what it was. And I don't think it was this big thing either, but it's like, I did have a notable issue with it, too, and I just can't think of what it was at the moment. It wasn't that the mom's face wasn't shown. I think some of these episodes are out of order, so I think that's why that was the deal there. But there was something specific in the episode that I when watching, I was thinking about, and by the end, I'm like, I'm going to talk about that later, and I just, for the life of me, I can't think of what it was. I'm trying to scroll through, like, very quickly to try and find what it was again, but it's like, it was something having to do with Lisa, obviously. It's gonna bother the hell out of me. It really is. I don't know if it was something about the... I just had it on my mind, too, like just a minute ago or something. Because when I was talking about the previous thing, I wanted to bring this up as well. Something she said or did or something, I don't know. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this off, and I'll cut back in when I think of it. So, just a second here. Okay, we're right back. I just cut straight to this. So I remembered exactly what it was. My other problem, which is actually, I guess, more of a legitimate issue. I don't know. I guess it's still kind of a nitpick. I nitpick a lot more often than you might think. Or maybe you do think about that. I don't know. Either way, the other issue I had that I was thinking about is that why does Lisa go back to kindergarten at the end? Like, I get that Lisa felt like both kindergarten and fifth grade were below her, and fair enough, I guess. But kindergarten and fifth grade are obviously very different. Even if you couldn't go anywhere past fifth grade, even if you weren't allowed for whatever reason, why not stay in fifth grade? Why not just transfer classes if you want to leave Lincoln's class alone? Or honestly, I don't see why she couldn't have stayed. Why that couldn't have been just a new thing. She's in Lincoln's class now. She moved up quite a few grades, obviously. Like, there's nothing wrong with her being in fifth grade anymore. The fact that she decided to go back to kindergarten just because of the idea, like, oh, I'm both are below me, and I'll continue with my experiments either way. So it's like, yeah, but then what's the point in going back? There's no point in going back then either. Even if you think there's no point in remaining in fifth grade because you're still above everyone else, sure. But that doesn't mean there's a point in going back to kindergarten. In fact, I'd say there's less of a point because the kindergarten is still even more below you. The only reason you could kind of give to her is, as she mentioned, kindergarten has one bonus over fifth grade, and that's the naps. But honestly, I don't think that's a good enough reason. I don't think that's a valid enough reason for her to have legitimately gone back to kindergarten over fifth grade. And I think, honestly, it was just done more as a gag than anything else. In the end, I just think it would have made more logical sense story-wise for her to remain in fifth grade at this point. Maybe that's just me. Either way, I did really enjoy both of these episodes. I thought these were great. Like, it's like two very good episodes. And I really can't wait to see what more we have coming. Hopefully the second season continues like this. Hopefully we get more of this. Because this is the kind of stuff we need in this series. Again, I want to see stuff that's more focused just on the other sisters, with Lincoln more as maybe a background character. Without him just even having a split with one of his sisters. Like, again, stuff like Lori and Lenny. They work really well off of each other. And I would love to see an episode that's just them. You know, the subplot from episode 11, but have it be the full episode. Just that kind of thing. I would like to see an episode that's just like maybe Lucy and Lola, for whatever reason. I don't know. Well, actually, they're kind of polar opposites in a way. You would think like Lola would be a polar opposite of her twin, but no, with her being the fairy princess, she's more opposite of a goth than opposite of a tomboy, a mud-loving, disgusting, loving tomboy. She's definitely more of the opposite of a full-on goth, I think. Or have something like Luann, maybe having to babysit the baby while everyone else is out. And having a hard time with it because maybe her jokes aren't working. I mean, sure, you could kind of view that as the Baby Cakes episode of MLP, but I think that would be great. Because, unlike a lot of people, I actually was fine with the Baby Cakes episode of MLP. I actually didn't think it was that annoying or bad. But I think that would be fine. Or even one of the other sisters doing that same kind of role. Or, heck, Lisa. Lisa having to take care of the baby. I know Lisa's like a kindergartner and all, but for whatever reason, she's left home. She is smart enough to be able to take care of herself. So she's left home. Or, Lisa has rigged the house before. Like, we've seen her do, like, these traps and stuff. Have Lisa do a Home Alone kind of thing. That would be cool. See, there's all these possibilities for the sisters to have these episodes focused on them without Lincoln needing to be a major driving force of the episode. And again, they're starting to do that more. Like this second episode, episode 11 here, did that, with the father being the main focus. And episode 10, even though Lincoln was sharing the focus still, it's still showing the kind of stuff they can do. It's still giving us a glimpse of what is possible with this series, and still doing it right. So I just think that there's a lot of potential that they're starting to move toward. And I'm really hoping it captures on it. I'm really hoping it captures on it. But yeah, these were 2 fantastic episodes. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of them. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,